right, guys, welcome back to another video. We're going to start off here with the biggest news, again, that everybody has been talking about. And this is no different than what we saw back in January, February with Xbox games going to PlayStation. A lot of people losing their minds before an official announcement and all of that stuff. We'll talk about that plus lots of other things. This is going to be a massive week in gaming with Gamescom and announcements throughout the entire week. So it should be very exciting. But before we do get into it all, if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit the subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like and check out the link to my Spotify if you want the audio version in the description. So we've been talking now for the last week or so about the rumors that have been going around about the next Xbox game going over to PlayStation. This is kind of unfolding the exact same way that it happened back in January, February, where there are a bunch of games thrown out there, and we're going to have to wait and see what the official announcement is. If you remember, last time it started with Starfield, which was never the case to be coming on PlayStation, at least as of yet. It's not there yet. And then it ended up being 4 games that people kind of thought would have made sense, but it wasn't the initial rumors to kick everything off. Now, this time, the initial rumor that kicked everything off was Forza Horizon 5. And if you ask a lot of people, they think that that kind of does make sense. It is a games as a service. It is multiplayer. It's been out now for about 3 years. It's already done extremely well. It would sell like crazy on PlayStation. It would print money for Xbox. So it would make sense for them if they wanted to expand it out the player base even more. But another game that I don't know if it makes a lot of sense in a lot of people's minds is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, because this is a single player experience. And from what Xbox has put out on PlayStation, their single player experiences have not sold well, like games like Sea of Thieves and Grounded. But this is a different story in the sense that it looks like this may be the beginning of a new strategy for their new released games and how they're going to be going about putting them out on the PlayStation platform. It looks like it's not going to be day and date releases. This comes via Nate the Hate, who has broken stuff before. He was also one of the people who said Starfield, then actually had to take that back and kind of apologize for saying that it was Starfield, that he got it wrong. But he does tweet this out. Machine Games, Indiana Jones, and The Great Circle will release on Xbox and PC this holiday in December, which is what I had thought would have been the release month for Indiana Jones based on the release schedule of what we have from now until the end of the year. And he says it's going to be a timed console exclusive. And it says after this timed exclusive window expires, Indiana Jones and The Great Circle is planned to come to PlayStation 5 in the first half of 2025. So that's where things get interesting. It looks like they are going to be going with this more timed exclusive strategy for these major games that will sell like crazy on the PlayStation 5. Like Indiana Jones is going to have great sales numbers on the PS5 when it does release on that platform, but they're going to keep it on Xbox for a few months before they actually do release it there. So if you want to play it first and you want to play it for the cheapest amount, you would sign up to Game Pass and you would play it on Xbox, or you go out and just buy it on Xbox. I wonder what they're thinking around this strategy is. Are they thinking that this may push people to not want to wait and then go and sign up to Game Pass to play it when it does first launch on the Xbox platform? Or are they thinking they're going to get 2 launches out of this and 2 huge hypes out of this, and you get that initial big FOMO sales push for the game on each platform, which will help them make even more money by reaching that broad base of consumers across all of the different platforms? I'm thinking that's probably what they are going to be going for here, putting it in more places, getting 2 launch periods, getting people to go out and run out and buy the game at full price in both of those launch periods. Probably something that they're trying to capitalize on there. Now, we don't know. We're probably going to get this announcement today. At least we're going to get the release date on Xbox today for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I'm almost positive we will at Gamescom opening night live. If you're watching this video before that happens, I'm assuming that this is going to be happening. So that will be exciting to see the exact day that we're going to be able to play this on Xbox and PC and day one onto Xbox Game Pass. And the question here is this a good move for Xbox? I mean, for me personally, when I look at it from the business perspective, I think it is a smart move because they're going to make a ton of money off of PlayStation users, and those users are going to have to wait a few months before they do jump in and play it. I mean, Indiana Jones is a very popular IP. You're going to have the people who are thinking this is Xbox's attempt to try to completely get out of the hardware space and completely become a publisher, which I don't think is the case, at least as of right now. I do believe we are getting another generation. I do believe we are going to be getting that more open ecosystem to Xbox, where you're going to have other launchers. You're going to be able to take your Xbox catalog on the go wherever you want, and it's just going to be more open, even though it is pretty open right now. So I think that's actually pretty exciting in a future of gaming that I would like to see, especially as I start to get more into the cloud gaming. I have handhelds, I have my Xbox, and everything just seamlessly crosses over achievements and progress and everything. It's a great way to play games, especially if you have a busy life where you're not always able to sit down at your console, at your TV. So that stuff's pretty cool to me. But at the same time, you're going to have the hardcore fanboys, the console wars. People are going to be very pissed off at this announcement if it does happen. But as I've said multiple times on this channel, the reality of the situation is the industry is completely shifting, and it has shifted over the last number of years. The actual importance of that plastic box for Xbox and PlayStation is becoming less and less, as they are seeing they have to get more people to play these games in order to be able to support the developments for these games that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be exciting during Gamescom opening night live. Now, one of the other Xbox studios here is Ninja Theory, and they put out their financial statements. Shout out to Timur222 here on X, who sent me this and was the one who was able to put these financial statements here on X, and it's some good news here for Ninja Theory. Contrary to popular belief, especially after the release of Hellblade 2, where a lot of people were saying it flopped, it didn't sell well, and nobody bought it, and they made no money or anything like that. That is seemingly not the case here, based off of these financial reports. So here is what they say. During the financial year, Ninja Theory has continued to focus on the development of the Mara and Hellblade 2 projects. Hellblade 2 has now completed and was released on the 21st of May 2024, as we all know. And they say over the course of the year, Ninja Theory team have settled into a highly productive rhythm of game development, utilizing their office building as a creative hub for in-person collaborating, whilst continuing to support work from home through hybrid working. They say here that over the year, Ninja Theory has taken several opportunities to showcase Hellblade 2 in public to an excellent reception. The team is well placed in the industry to continue building unique narrative-led experiences with very highest production values, leading to products that have potential to both direct sales and revenue and indirect revenue through game subscription services. So that's kind of where they are, what they're working on. Project Mara is obviously the other game that they are currently working on right now. They do say here, and specifically when it comes to Hellblade 2, that following the successful release of Hellblade 2, Ninja Theory will now concentrate their efforts on various future projects. And then we jump over here to the numbers, which is where it kind of shows that Ninja Theory is healthy. They are doing well. Hellblade 2 was a success. All of these types of things you can see here in 2023, they reported 23,900,000 change in euros for their income, and then which is 3 million more than in 2022. And you would have to ask yourself, what they released Hellblade 2 and that's it, how do they make all of this money? And the thing here is, it's not just about the games that they do release. Ninja Theory actually does some pretty big things here. Specifically, Jez Corden says that Ninja Theory has one of the UK's most advanced mo capture facilities, and they are wizards with Unreal Engine. Lots of ways for a studio to make money beyond direct sales, especially if they're close to other studios. So that is a huge thing when you do think about it. This gives Ninja Theory that ability to be able to invest and make these crazy high cinematic experience games like Hellblade 2 was. Whether you're a fan of it or not, it is a technological marvel, in my opinion, in terms of games that we have seen this generation. Even if you don't like the gameplay, you don't like the story, you found all that boring, just technologically what they were able to showcase with that game was phenomenal. And they're able to do this even if it doesn't sell like crazy, because they have these other ways of making revenue. That's kind of exciting if you ask me, because Xbox doesn't need every single game studio that they have making these massive RPGs or first person shooters or anything like that. They can have a studio solely dedicated to advancing technology, showcasing what the highest end development can do, and then giving that knowledge to other studios at Xbox. And I think that's completely fine. And Ninja Theory looks like it is going to be that studio that is going to be able to do that and continue to provide their expertise to other studios, especially now as we're seeing these fans reports, and they have been doing well. So very cool. They're happy to hear that Ninja Theory's fan reports are positive. It means that they're probably going to be able to keep doing what they're doing. And Project Mara is huge. It's going to be massive for them in terms of, I think graphically, and just another technological beast that we're going to see showcased on the Xbox platform. Now, Gamescom, as I said, is around the corner, and now we know a few surprises. Xbox has teased a few surprises for this week's live streams. And here's the thing: we have Opening Night Live today, but then we also have a bunch of in-depth looks at games throughout the week, which is exciting to say the least. So it says here is what a description says for day one, which is on Wednesday, as to what we are going to be seeing on Xbox. And if you're wondering what Xbox is doing, they say that everything's kicking off with Gamescom Opening Night Live on Tuesday and finishing with a final of 3 daily live streams being hosted by Xbox on Friday. So 3 daily live streams that Xbox is going to be hosting, and you can kind of see what they're doing here. You have Wednesday, August 21st is the first one. You have the Thursday, August 22nd is the second one, and then Friday, August 23rd is the third one, and all the stuff that they have here. And Friday is where they're showing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which we'll probably get that announcement again at Opening Night Live tonight. But in terms of a tease of what we are expecting to see, they say day one is packed with exclusive gameplay walkthroughs and developer interviews around Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred, Diablo Immortal, Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, Starfield Shattered Space. That's going to be exciting to see more about that. Atomfall, an Age of Mythology retold, plus an all new look of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Overwatch 2, Forza Horizon 5, Forza Motorsport, Let's Build a Dungeon, and more than a few surprises and special guests. So it's not only first party games that they have in there. Like, I'm excited to see Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and everything. So cool stuff there. There's going to be a lot to talk about throughout this week as Gamescom continues. Now, when it comes to Final Fantasy, we know Final Fantasy is coming to PC, and it is official now as the release date has been announced here. And right now it's on Steam. You can go ahead and download the PC demo. I have done that, and I'm going to check out how it looks on PC. I think it's going to look pretty phenomenal because it was already a good looking game. But here is the announcement. It says they have announced the PC port for Final Fantasy XVI will be released on September 17th, 2024. So just around the corner, and will be available to buy on Steam and the Epic Game Store. And in addition, they have announced a complete edition of Final Fantasy XVI, which will bundle together the game with its DLC expansions and a playable demo, again, that's now available on Steam. So if you have been waiting to play this game, if you don't have a PlayStation 5, or if you have a PS5 but you wanted to play it on PC, you're not going to be able to play it in the next few weeks. These next few months are just extremely packed, and here's another one that does slot in. Now, the question is, will this game ever come to Xbox? I think this one will. I don't know if Final Fantasy VII Remake will anytime soon, but I do think Final Fantasy XVI will come over to Xbox. And there was an interview here with Windows Central, Jez Corden, and director Hiroshi Takai, and he asked about the Xbox version of the game. Now, of course, in the interview, he doesn't give us the answer, but it is some hope that this game will be coming over. He was positive about potentially bringing this game over to Xbox. Here's what he says: "We're taking one thing at a time right now, so I can't reveal anything about our future plans. All I can say is it's something I would personally like to see happen." So, of course, he personally wants to see this happen. He's the director of the game. He wants as many people to play these games as possible. And if you go ask any developer, the ones that are actually making the games, not the suits making the business decisions, they don't care about any of this exclusivity stuff. They just want people to be able to play their game. So if they get more people's eyes on their games, they want that. And of course, Hiroshi Takai will want that as well. This obviously comes down to the back-end business deals that are out of his control as to when this game is going to be coming to Xbox. I'm sure PlayStation has signed a contract where it just cannot release on any other console specifically, any competitor console specifically, for a certain amount of time. Maybe that's a 2-year period, and maybe we'll see this thing next year. But I hope it does come for all the people out there that do want to play Final Fantasy 16. They want to play it on Xbox. They don't want to have to go out and buy a brand new platform to be able to play the game. Now we have some details here for Modern Warfare 3 Warzone's Season 5 Reloaded. The update has been detailed, so if you've been looking forward to playing this, I'm actually pretty much looking forward to this pixel shaded game mode that they do have coming out. It is launching August 21st, so tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's going to have new and returning multiplayer modes: cyber attack, fishfection, paintball, and defuse or destroy. And it also has that 6v6 map ink house, which is the cell shaded variant of Stash House, which I think looks really, really cool. I'm going to be checking that out for sure when that does launch. It also features the final story mission for Zombies, Supreme Resurgence Rebirth Island mode for Warzone, and an operator skin based on the Crow. So if you are looking forward to this update, keep your eyes open August 21st. Okay, let's jump over here. Let's talk about a couple more things that I think are pretty interesting. First of all, it looks like production for all of the new models of the next consoles are ramping up, basically, and that they're entering production soon. We know right now the Nintendo Switch 2 is on the way. PlayStation 5 Pro is on the way, although unofficial, and the Xbox Series X Digital Edition that is on the way. That was announced that is coming this holiday. And I think there's another one, a special edition one as well, but it's the same stuff inside the box. It's not more powerful or anything like that. But we have this here. This has been posted by Fragrant Okra 6671 on Reddit, sharing on the Gaming Leaks and Rumor subreddit. And they clarify that this has gone through translation twice, but you can kind of get an understanding of what they are saying. And this has to do with a Taiwan-based semiconductor manufacturer talking about creating the semiconductors for these products. And here's what the translation says. Taiwan Incom-based semiconductor manufacturer Well-Trend Semiconductor recently releases financial results and plans for the coming months. And they say here that orders involving video game consoles will recover in the third quarter, including initial shipments of the new PlayStation 5, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch models. Now, they say are taking into account that the three systems mentioned already have orders in progress. The quote, new models refers to the unreleased products of the three companies, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, that are planned to be manufactured, assembled on a large scale over the next few months, starting in the quarter starting of September 2024. And this obviously brings speculation. What could these be? And I think it is those three that I mentioned at the start here. You do have the Series X and the Xbox Series S with the 1 terabyte SSDs in the white color scheme, as well as the 2 terabyte Xbox Series X with the black color scheme that is releasing this holiday. But at the same time, maybe, just maybe, they are going to stick their neck out and make a mid-gen refresh. They've seen the PlayStation 5 Pro. They don't want to fall behind. And maybe this is something that we don't know about. And this is just going to be a massive announcement that we do get at some point where it does release around the same time as the PlayStation 5 Pro. Probably not, but that could be something. You never know. Now, for the Nintendo side of things, of course, there is the Nintendo Switch Lite and the Zelda Hyrule edition that they are releasing, the special edition, probably also the Nintendo Switch 2. And then the PlayStation 5, the PS5 Pro, which has not been officially announced, but the rumors and everything have just been there's so much information out there about it that PS5 Pro is real. It's just, when are we getting this announcement for the console itself? So that's probably what's happening here, but maybe there will be a surprise that does come out of it. When it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2, it looks like we have some more information here via Toyo Securities analyst Hideki Yasuda, who believes that the Nintendo Switch 2 will be priced below $499. Here is what he says. At this point, no details have been announced about the successor to the Switch, but various reports suggest that it will be released in the first half of next year, will be relatively cheap in dollar terms, less than $499, and will have performance that is lower than the PlayStation 4 Pro. They say $499 is about 75,000 yen when converted at 150 yen to the dollar. Many people in Japan will have doubts if this is said to be cheap. However, just for reference, a McDonald's Big Mac in the United States costs $5.69, which is 853 yen at 150 yen to the dollar, and 682 yen at 120 yen to the dollar. Compared to 480 yen in Japan, it is 1.77 times the price at 150 yen and 1.42 times the price at 120 yen. yen. So there's, for all you math people out there, if you want to make a comparison to the Big Mac, you have that. And it says outside of Japan, it would not be strange to feel that the 150 yen to the dollar is about 60% of the dollar price. And even at 120 yen, it would feel about 30% cheaper considering these things. The successor to the Switch is likely to stimulate inbound demand under these circumstances. So all that to be said, he believes that the pricing at $499 or less is fine for the Nintendo Switch 2. And even with performance that is less than the PlayStation 4 Pro. And that will be an interesting one to see if that's actually what is going to happen here, if it is going to be around the PS4 Pro in performance. I don't think this actually matters at all for most of the Nintendo Switch consumers. I mean, you look at the current Nintendo Switch and they can put anything on there. It can run at 12 FPS, 560p. People will pick up the games. People will love it. It does not matter. So in that sense, the performance here being lower than the PS4 Pro probably isn't going to have a huge, but you'll have a lot of enthusiasts out there who really look at that stuff that will be, I think, annoyed at that performance with the Nintendo Switch 2. Either way, I'm pretty excited to see exactly what this is, what the announcement is. What do they upgrade? For me, it's going to be more like, how are they going to upgrade the controllers? They don't have to make big changes, but will they make them better and things like that? Like, that's where I'm most interested in the screen. What type of screen are they going to be throwing on the Nintendo Switch 2? So now let's jump over here and let's talk. We'll say about some Nintendo. They actually released a museum, or opened a museum, got an opening date for a museum, I should say. We're opening up the Nintendo Museum on October 2nd, and it looks pretty cool. It's going to be in Kyoto, Japan, and they say it's built on the site of the original factory where Nintendo manufactured Hanafuda and playing cards. And there was a 10-minute video where Shigeru Miyamoto showed the inside of the museum for the first time. You can see it here. It looks pretty awesome. Like, if I was ever able to make it out there, I'd love to go to this museum, just kind of see the entire history of Nintendo in the way that they've documented here. They have everything from all their consoles, the SNES, the NES, the Famicom, all those types of stuff here. You had a big thing of like the DS up there, which was one of my favorite handhelds ever. So super cool stuff there. If you're ever looking to go there, the Nintendo Museum will be opening on October 2nd. We got some more details here on Silent Hill 2 Remake from previews, which actually sounds and looks like it's going to be pretty awesome. This here is a breakdown from Okami13 here on X, saying positive impressions overall, the faithful adaptation. After playing the first 3 hours, he says, my fears have melted away. That was a quote he took out from a preview. 60 FPS mode is confirmed in this game. There's a dodge button and an aiming reticle added to make combat smoother. There's more explorable buildings than the original. Monsters are more aggressive and can counterattack. New puzzles have been confirmed. Zones have been expanded and item locations moved around. Woodside and Blue Creek apartment layouts reworked. Pyramid Head apartments account reworked. All original endings are included, plus a brand new ones with New Game Plus. Combat is smoother, although Bloober Team stresses Silent Hill 2 is not a combat-oriented game. There's tense sound design, dense thick fog, UE5 Lumen technology confirmed for the PS5, and it is releasing October 8th. I have to say, it looks like they did a pretty good job here with this remake, and I'm pretty excited to jump into this one at some point. I mean, I am a fan of the Resident Evil series. I was never really got too deep into Silent Hill, but obviously this is kind of along those same lines. So I'm excited to see what this turns out being. I mean, from what we have seen in the previews, graphically, the screenshots, it looks pretty crazy. So it'll be cool when it does eventually launch. And finally, if you don't like microtransactions, you may be in good for this, as there was a survey that was going around here at DevCom 2024 asking developers of what they thought about microtransactions and if they needed to be in premium price games, and 90% of those asked said that premium games do not need microtransactions. This is according to 100 developers asked. Out of the 300 speakers at the event, 89% said they believe that premium AAA games can be financially successful just by being buy to play and sticking with business models. 65% believe in a premium games model for both physical and digital games. And only 1% believed that a free to play with ads was the best direction of the industry. So these are what the devs say. Now, that is a good sign, but at the same time, the devs aren't really making the decisions for a lot of these major games. It is going to be the business people behind it, and they're going to go wherever the money is. This is why you see all the games as a service, free-to-play models, and all that stuff that continues to stick around in the gaming industry, is because they make a ton of money. People spend a ton of money on those games over a long period of times, and it captures people's attention longer than just a couple of hours, or 50, 60 to 100 hours. It captures people's attentions for weeks and months, and that's really what these game companies are looking for nowadays. So we'll see how the gaming industry evolves. I don't see games as a service or free-to-play models with battle passes and microtransactions going away anytime soon, but at least the devs here are thinking, let's just go back to the buy and play premium games and prices rather than just free to play stuff. There'll be that. There'll be the subscription services like PS Plus and Game Pass and even Nintendo Online. So there's a lot of things happening here in the industry. But I'll end the video there. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.